The attack came on an ordinary Tuesday morning. No dramatic buildup, no ultimatum, just a sudden appearance of three massive warships materializing in Earth's orbit, their hulls gleaming with an otherworldly purple sheen that seemed to absorb sunlight. Director Sarah Chen stood in NASA's mission control, her coffee going cold in her hand as she watched the primary display. 20 years of preparing for this moment, and somehow it still felt surreal. The aliens' message was broadcasting on every frequency, in perfect English. Humans of Earth. The Kraxan Empire claims dominion over your world. Your species has been evaluated and found wanting. Surrender now, and you may serve as a protectorate race, resist, and face extinction. You have one planetary rotation to comply. Sarah allowed herself a small smile as she pressed her thumb against the biometric scanner hidden under her desk. Across the globe, similar actions were being taken by her counterparts in other space agencies. The aliens wouldn't detect the quantum-encrypted signals being exchanged. They'd made sure of that. Protocol Cassandra is now active. The AI assistant's voice whispered in her earpiece. All defensive systems online. Waiting for your command, Director. 20 years ago, when Sarah had first proposed the Cassandra protocol, they'd called her paranoid. A waste of resources, they'd said. But she persisted, building a network of allies across governments and private space companies. Together, they'd hidden humanity's true technological capabilities behind a carefully constructed facade of primitive space technology. The Kraxan ships hung in orbit like purple thunderclouds, their weapon systems charging. No doubt planning a demonstration to prove their superiority. They were about to learn that humanity had been playing a very long game. Execute Phase 1, Sarah commanded. Across Earth's orbit, thousands of seemingly defunct satellites suddenly powered up. What appeared to be space debris revealed themselves as carefully disguised weapon platforms. The junk belt humanity had allowed to accumulate wasn't trash. It was the largest minefield ever created. The Kraxan ship's sensors registered the change too late. Their shields, designed to repel energy weapons, proved useless against the kinetic bombardment of thousands of tungsten rods accelerated to relativistic speeds. The first ship's hull cracked like an egg. The second managed to fire a single shot before its propulsion system was shredded. The third ship, presumably carrying the Kraxan commander, attempted to retreat. That's when Phase 2 began. Hidden beneath the lunar surface, electromagnetic accelerators that had been disguised as mining operations powered up. They launched swarms of microscopic robots, another technology humanity had kept secret. The nanites swarmed the remaining ship, bypassing its shields entirely. Within minutes, they had infiltrated its systems through microscopic gaps in its hull. The mighty Kraxan vessel went dark, its crew helpless as their own ship's systems turned against them. Signal coming in from the Kraxan vessel, Sarah's assistant reported. They're requesting to negotiate. Sarah took a sip of her cold coffee. Put them through. The alien commander appeared on screen. A tall, angular being with iridescent scales and multiple eyes. How? It demanded. Your species. You're supposed to be primitive. We monitored your broadcasts, your visible technology. Commander, Sarah interrupted, her voice calm. Did you ever wonder why humans spend so much time creating stories about alien invasions? Why we imagine countless scenarios of first contact gone wrong? While you were watching our entertainment, you failed to understand its purpose. Every alien invasion movie, every science fiction story, they weren't just entertainment. They were preparation. She stood straighter, her voice taking on an edge of steel. For centuries, we've been gaming out every possible scenario of extraterrestrial contact. We've imagined and counter-imagined every strategy. While you saw a primitive species obsessed with fiction, we were conducting the longest military planning session in history. The commander's multiple eyes blinked in confusion. But your space program, your primitive rockets. Sarah smiled. A theater production worthy of Broadway. We knew someone was watching. We made sure you saw exactly what we wanted you to see. Now, shall we discuss the terms of your surrender? And please, do inform your empire that Earth is not to be trifled with. We've been preparing for this day since before we invented powered flight." As the commander stammered its response, Sarah's mind was already racing ahead to the next phases of the protocol. The Kraxan Empire had made a crucial mistake. They had judged humanity by its apparent technology level, not by its capacity for innovation and forethought. This was just the beginning. Humanity had many more surprises in store for any empire that thought Earth would be an easy conquest. After all, paranoia and preparation were human specialties, and they'd had a very long time to get ready. Captain Maya Patel stood on the bridge of what appeared to be a civilian mining vessel, the Lucky Strike. To any observer, human or alien, it looked like a patchwork heap of outdated technology. That was precisely the point. Kraxan Patrol detected. Her tactical officer, Lieutenant James Wong, reported. 3 light cruisers, standard search pattern. They haven't spotted us yet. Maya nodded, watching the holographic display hidden behind what seemed to be old radar screens. The Kraxan Empire had responded to their initial defeat at Earth with overwhelming force, sending their 3rd Fleet to pacify the system. They still hadn't figured out why their ships kept disappearing. "Status of the asteroid field?" she asked. "Perfect cover, Captain. Mining charges are in position. Stealth systems holding steady." The Lucky Strike was one of 50 mining vessels deployed throughout the solar system. Their true purpose had nothing to do with extracting minerals. These ships were humanity's answer to the Empire's superior technology. Wolves in sheep's clothing. "Begin Operation Fool's Gold," Maya ordered. Her crew moved with practiced precision. The Lucky Strike's supposedly primitive engines leaked radiation, a carefully engineered signature that exactly matched worn-out fusion drives. To Kraxan sensors, they would appear to be yet another group of desperate human miners trying to maintain their operations despite the occupation. The patrol took the bait. "They're moving to intercept," James reported. "Standard intimidation approach. Looks like they want to have some fun with the primitives." Maya allowed herself a grim smile. "Deploy the nets." What the Kraxan Empire never understood about humans was their ability to turn anything into a weapon. The mining charges were actually quantum-entangled field generators, developed in secret by combining human theoretical physics with reverse-engineered alien tech from crashed scout ships over the decades. As the Kraxan cruisers moved to surround the apparently helpless mining vessel, the charges activated. The asteroid field came alive with artificial gravity fields, turning the space rocks into projectiles. But that wasn't the real trap. "Quantum field stable," James announced. "They're locked in." The patrol ships suddenly found themselves unable to access hyperspace. Their shields, calibrated for deflecting energy weapons and physical impacts, did nothing against the quantum disruption that was already eating away at their hull integrity. "This is Kraxan Patrol Leader," a desperate voice crackled over the common frequency. "We surrender. Please, what is this technology?" Maya opened the channel. This is just basic mining equipment. You see, while you were judging us by our visible technology, you forgot to ask why humans still used such primitive methods. Here's a lesson about Earth. Nothing we do is without purpose." The Lucky Strike's outer hull began to shift, panels sliding away to reveal state-of-the-art weapon systems. But these weren't copies of Kraxan technology. These were purely human innovations, developed along a completely different technological path that the Empire's defenses were never designed to counter. "You know what else we learned from mining?" Maya asked the increasingly panicked Kraxan commander. "How to break things apart efficiently." Targeted graviton beams, technology the Kraxan had dismissed as theoretically impossible, struck the patrol ships. They didn't explode. They simply came apart at the atomic level, their perfectly engineered hulls flitting along manufactured stress points that human scientists had identified through careful study of captured Kraxan debris. "Signal command," Maya ordered after the brief one-sided battle. "Tell them Phase 3 is ready to begin, and send our guests' data cores to analysis. I'm sure they'll find the patrol routes interesting." As her crew worked to collect the valuable Kraxan technology now floating freely in space, Maya reviewed the larger strategic situation. Across the solar system, dozens of other mining vessels were conducting similar operations. Each successful ambush provided more intelligence, more technology to analyze, and more uncertainty for the Empire's commanders. The Kraxan Empire had expected to find a primitive species hiding behind their planet's atmosphere. Instead, they found themselves fighting ghosts, never sure which seemingly harmless civilian vessel might be a wolf in disguise, never certain if that nearby asteroid field was natural or another human trap. "Captain," James called out. "Command acknowledges. They're deploying the rest of the fleet." Maya nodded. The Empire was about to learn another lesson about humanity. When humans went to war, they didn't just fight with weapons. They fought with deceit, misdirection, and an endless capacity for turning their enemies' assumptions against them. The real question wasn't whether humanity would win. The question was how much of their advanced technology they would need to reveal before the Empire realized just how badly they had underestimated Earth. Admiral Kira Chen watched from the bridge of the UVS Spectre as her fleet of ghost ships slipped through the Kraxan Empire's defensive lines. What made these ships special wasn't their advanced technology. It was their apparent non-existence. "Phase shift holding steady," her XO, Commander David Reeves, reported. "The Kraxan detection grid still shows this sector as empty space." Kira nodded, studying the tactical display. The Spectre and its sister ships were humanity's masterpiece of psychological warfare. Using captured Kraxan technology combined with human ingenuity, they'd created vessels that didn't just evade detection. They induced doubt in the enemy's very perception of reality. "Status of Operation Phantom?" she asked. "All ships in position. The Kraxan supply fleet is right where intelligence said they'd be. They're still following their standard protocols. No adaptation to our previous attacks." That was the Empire's greatest weakness, their rigid adherence to doctrine. They couldn't comprehend that humans might think differently, fight differently. Their entire military structure was built on the assumption of technological superiority. "Begin the haunting," Kira ordered, using the operation's unofficial nickname. Across the void, her ghost fleet activated their primary weapons. But these weren't conventional arms. Each ship carried what humanity had dubbed reality warpers, devices that played havoc with the Kraxan's highly structured sensor systems and communication networks. The first sign something was wrong came when the Kraxan fleet's formation began to waver. Their perfectly maintained spacing, a hallmark of Imperial discipline, started to break down as each ship's sensors told it something different about the position of its companions. "They're starting to react," David reported with a grim smile. "Confusion in their command channel. Some ships are reporting phantom contacts, others are seeing their fellow vessels in multiple locations simultaneously." Kira allowed herself a small smile. Deploy the whispers. This was the true psychological weapon. The carefully crafted messages that began filtering through the Kraxan communication channels, each designed to exploit what human intelligence had learned about their psychology and culture. "Your sensors lie. We are everywhere and nowhere. The humans have mastered the void itself." Each message was transmitted using the Empire's own encryption codes, making them appear to come from their own command structure. The seeds of doubt had been planted months ago, with carefully orchestrated glitches in their systems that were too subtle to raise immediate alarm, but created a foundation of uncertainty. "Sir," David's voice carried a note of satisfaction, "we're seeing the first signs of panic. 3 ships have broken formation. Their command structure is starting to fragment." The Kraxan Empire had never faced an enemy that attacked their minds rather than their ships. They had no protocols for dealing with an opponent who turned their own technology against them in ways they had never imagined possible. "Launch Phase 2, Kira commanded. The Ghost Fleet began its real attack, but not with conventional weapons. Instead, they deployed swarms of nanoscale robots that had been specifically engineered to infiltrate Kraxan systems. These weren't designed to destroy. They were designed to make the ships behave erratically, to further the impression that reality itself was breaking down around the Imperial fleet. Enemy vessels are firing on their own ships, David reported. Their targeting systems have been compromised. Sensor ghosts are multiplying. They're seeing our ships everywhere, except where we actually are. Kira watched as the mighty Kraxan fleet dissolved into chaos. Ships fired at phantoms while actual threats slipped past their defenses. Communication broke down, as no one could trust their instruments or even their own eyes. "Send the final message," she ordered, across every Kraxan channel, in their own language and using their highest command codes. A simple message played. "You don't understand what humanity is. We are not bound by your rules of warfare. We are not limited by your conception of reality. Retreat now, or face the consequences of fighting an enemy you cannot comprehend." The Kraxan fleet's reaction was predictable. They attempted to retreat, but their hyperspace calculations, subtly altered by the infiltrating nanites, sent them jumping in random directions, further spreading the terror of the Ghost Fleet. "Operation complete," David announced. "Minimal casualties on both sides, maximum psychological impact. Analysis suggests it will take them weeks to determine what was real and what wasn't." Kira nodded, already thinking ahead to the next phase. The Empire was learning that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their hidden technology or their unconventional tactics. It was their ability to wage war on levels the Kraxan had never even considered. "Send word to command," she ordered. "Tell them the Ghost Protocol was successful. The Empire's perception of reality has been compromised. They'll never trust their own systems again. The real victory wasn't in the ships disabled or the supplies captured. It was in the seed of doubt now planted in every Kraxan commander's mind. How could they fight an enemy that might not even be there?" The Kraxan Empire's supreme weapon arrived with the subtlety of a supernova. The Worldbreaker, as humans quickly named it, emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the solar system. A construct the size of a small moon, its surface rippling with energy patterns that defied known physics. Dr. Elena Rodriguez stood in the heart of humanity's Deep Space Defense Center, buried 2 miles beneath the Atacama Desert. The quantum computers surrounding her processed data streams from thousands of sensors scattered throughout the solar system. "They're desperate," she remarked to General Michael Okonjo, who watched the massive holographic display with growing concern. "To reveal their ultimate weapon this early in the war. Desperate enemies are the most dangerous," Michael responded. "Status of Project Pandora." Elena pulled up another holographic window, displaying a complex network of quantum calculations, ready for deployment. "Though I still say this is absolutely insane. That's exactly why it'll work," Michael smiled. "The Empire thinks they understand human psychology. They expect us to either cower or launch a futile direct assault." The Worldbreaker's purpose became clear as it began charging its main weapon, a device capable of inducing artificial solar flares in stars. One shot could turn Earth's sun against its own planets. "All stations report ready," Elena announced. "Though I should note again that what we're attempting violates at least 3 laws of physics." "Good thing we never shared those laws with the universe," Michael replied. "Execute Operation Pandora." Across the solar system, hidden quantum transmitters activated. These devices, disguised as normal communication relays, had been placed over the last 20 years. Their true purpose was about to be revealed. The Worldbreaker fired its primary weapon, a beam of concentrated exotic particles designed to destabilize stellar matter. But something unexpected happened. The beam never reached the sun. "Quantum field stabilized," Elena reported, her fingers dancing across holographic controls. "Dimensional fold is holding. They're actually falling for it." The Empire's weapon had fired into what appeared to be normal space, but humanity had spent decades studying quantum mechanics and dimensional physics. They had learned to do something the Empire considered impossible. They had created a localized space-time fold, essentially turning a portion of space into a mirror. The World Breaker's beam struck this quantum mirror and reflected back on itself. The Empire's greatest weapon was about to experience its own power firsthand. Incoming transmission from the World Breaker. An officer announced. They're demanding to know what we've done. Michael opened the channel himself. This is General Okonjo of Earth's Defense Force. We've simply given you a lesson in human physics. You see, while you were perfecting ways to destroy stars, we were learning how to bend reality itself. The World Breaker's commander, visible on the screen, displayed all signs of cracks and panic, their scales shifting colors rapidly. Impossible. Your species can't have mastered quantum dimensional manipulation. You were barely reaching your moon when we found you. Elena stepped forward. That's because we chose a different path. While you focused on making bigger weapons, we explored the fundamental nature of space-time. Your weapon is impressive, but it's just energy and matter. We learned to work with the fabric of reality itself. The quantum mirror continued its work, reflecting the World Breaker's energy beam back at its source. The massive construct's shields, designed to protect against conventional weapons, proved useless against its own refined stellar manipulation beam. They're attempting emergency hyperspace jump, an officer reported. Let them go, Michael ordered. But make sure they take our message with them. The message, transmitted on all frequencies as the World Breaker retreated with its hull being eaten away by its own weapon, was simple. Your understanding of physics is incomplete. Your grasp of warfare is primitive. Earth stands ready to teach both lessons again if necessary. As the massive weapon platform disappeared into hyperspace, Elena turned to Michael. They'll be back, and they'll be more careful next time. That's what we're counting on, Michael replied. Paranoia makes them predictable, and predictable enemies are defeated enemies. The quantum mirror dissolved, its work done, but its effect would resonate throughout the Empire. They had just learned that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't technology. It was their ability to think in ways the Empire never imagined possible. Begin Phase 5 preparations, Michael ordered. It's time to show them why challenging humanity was their greatest mistake. The Kraxan High Command arrived at Earth with their entire remaining fleet, 5,000 warships strong, enough firepower to reduce a dozen worlds to ash. They expected to find a devastated human resistance. Instead, they found empty space. Grand Admiral Marcus Zhang stood on the observation deck of humanity's last great secret, the Titan Array, a massive space station hidden in the dimensional pocket between normal space and hyperspace, a place the Empire didn't even know existed. Status report, he commanded softly. Dr. Diana Patel, head of Project Ascension, looked up from her quantum interface. The Empire has taken the bait. Their fleet is spreading out to search the solar system. They still haven't realized that Earth isn't actually there anymore. 3 days ago, humanity had accomplished what the Empire considered impossible. They had shifted an entire planet and its moon into a dimensional pocket. To the Kraxan sensors, Earth appeared to be exactly where it should be, but it was merely a quantum echo, a memory of light and gravity. Active their gift, Marcus ordered. Diana nodded, initiating the final protocol. For months, every engagement with the Empire had served a dual purpose. While they focused on the obvious battles, they missed the microscopic infiltrators that humans had planted in their systems, quantum-linked nanites that had spread throughout their entire fleet like a silent virus. Quantum entanglement network is active, Diana reported. Every ship in their fleet is now linked to our control matrix. Marcus opened a channel to the Kraxan flagship. Attention High Command of the Kraxan Empire. This is Grand Admiral Zhang of the Earth Defense Force. Look carefully at your tactical displays. Across the Imperial fleet, every ship's systems suddenly displayed their true situation. The nanites they'd unknowingly carried had done more than just infiltrate. They had transformed the Empire's own ships into components of humanity's largest quantum computer. Impossible. The Kraxan Supreme Commander's voice shook with rage and fear. This defies all known laws of physics. No, Marcus replied calmly. It defies your understanding of physics. While you conquered the galaxy with brute force, humanity chose to understand the deeper nature of reality. Your entire fleet is now part of our quantum network. Every weapon, every engine, every piece of technology you possess is under our control. To demonstrate, Marcus nodded to Diana. With a few gestures, she commanded the entire Imperial fleet to move in perfect synchronization, forming a massive geometric pattern in space. This is your final lesson about humanity, Marcus continued. We never wanted to destroy you. We wanted to understand you, to learn from you, and yes, to surpass you. Every battle, every engagement was designed to teach us more about your technology while hiding our true capabilities. The Kraxan commander's multiple eyes blinked in confusion. If you have such power, why not simply destroy us from the beginning? Diana stepped forward. Because that's not who we are. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our weapons. It's our ability to learn, to adapt, and to grow. We didn't want to win a war. We wanted to ensure it would never happen again. Marcus revealed humanity's final card. Your ships are now permanently linked to our quantum network. Any aggressive action against Earth or any other world will result in immediate shutdown of your entire fleet. But we're offering you something more valuable than conquest. Knowledge. We propose an exchange, Diana explained. We'll show you how we achieved what you thought impossible. In return, the Kraxan Empire transitions from conquest to cooperation. Your choice is simple. Remain as you are and lose your entire fleet, or evolve with us and gain understanding of the universe you never imagined possible. The silence that followed stretched for several minutes as the Kraxan High Command debated. Finally, their Supreme Commander spoke again, but this time with a different tone, one of reluctant respect. You planned this from the beginning, they stated. Every defeat, every apparent victory of ours, all of it was orchestrated to reach this moment. Of course, Marcus smiled. That's the final lesson about humanity. We don't just plan for the battle or the war. We plan for the peace that follows. As the negotiations began, Diana brought up a view of Earth, shimmering safely in its dimensional sanctuary. Should we bring her back now? Marcus shook his head. Let's wait until the treaties are signed. After all, humanity's greatest weapon was never our technology. It was our patience. We spent centuries preparing for this moment, and we can wait a few more days to ensure it's done right. The Kraxan Empire had come expecting to find a primitive species ready for conquest. Instead, they found teachers who had been waiting to show them just how much they had yet to learn about the true nature of the universe and of humanity itself.